Friday night, I want a Chippy Tea. Chippy Tea, Chippy Tea, I want a Chippy Tea. Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry coulis. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights, I want a Chippy Tea.
And in the red kitchen, Willie was preparing a griddled squid with coconut pascal, chili
Yeah, just a one.
So, here we go again. Welcome to episode 17 of Chippy Tea podcast. This is a nice, slow, meandering chat between two guys from Yorkshire. That's me, Tony from Palm Print, and
Danny D from Flippin' Sweeping Co.
you felt like you was whispering into somebody's ear then.
ASMR. Chippy Tea ASMR.
So, join us as we basically take a look back at the week that we both had. I'm a print consultant travelling around causing all sorts of chaos, and Dan is a manual printer bashing work out every day on his little print shop over in Brid, which is Bridlington to anybody not from Yorkshire.
Seaside,
at Seaside, with his mate Stephen Seagal.
Right. It's a bit too dark for him now, though, so you won't hear him in this episode.
No.
Midnight time.
You can shut window now, can't you? Because this is England, and our 3 days of summer have gone.
Seagull's got a bed crackers come out now, so...
Never see them together.
No.
So, we're going to throw it right out. What sort of a week have you had, Danny? What have you been doing? What have you been up to? What have you been printing? What's gone wrong? What's made you smile? Go for it.
Well, honestly, nothing has gone wrong yet. Oh, shit, why did I say that? That was the most deadly thing I've ever said.
You say it yet?
I don't know. No, what's gone wrong? I've had a good week. Pretty productive. One day, slaving away, washing screens, preparing, coating, etc. That was like a full day job. So that was a Monday written off. And then we've had a couple of jobs, nothing particularly exciting. We had a delivery though, which I'm absolutely buzzing about. Show and tell.
Show and tell. I ain't got no show and tell.
Sorry, it's not that exciting this time. It's not a print. We've got some new ink. I don't know if you can read that on webcam. If I hold it still, you might be able to.
Avian Speciality HD Clear 2.
HD Clear 2, and I can't reach that one.
It's sharp, isn't it?
Sharp.
It's
Sharp. So,
come on, what's the difference between the two? Why did you buy two? What did the salesman tell you?
nothing. So I bought this off my own back. I've come to a conclusion, rightly or wrongly. We'll find out because I'm going to do some testing. That HD Sharp will get me a more matte, high build finish. In my head, if I've got this right, HD Clear is glossy, high build glossy, and in my head, Sharp is just the opposite, it's just matte. Might be totally wrong, but that is just the conclusion I've come to, just from reading descriptions.
They change the names that often I've forgotten, but I think you're right. I think it does give a more of a matte look. I think I've used it on a black print for Punisher, I think is the character.
Yeah, like a comic book character.
Yeah, and it looks really good. I don't know what you're doing with your... That's what I could have done with my show and tell. I could have got my shirt out that's got high build on it.
Well, maybe next time do some homework.
Yeah. That'd spoil it, wouldn't it? Preparation.
Yeah.
Printing top colours on with a little bit of puffing them through thin meshes on top of a high build. All these different variations that you can do.
Yeah. So I've had a little shopping spree. It's opened up a whole new world for me, and I've got this new lease of life and excitement and ambition to.
You're getting excited about printing again?
Yeah. I mean, I've never lost that love for printing. I'm always driving to be better, and just no matter what, I just want to make this business work for me. I don't want to do it for as long as I can, so long as I can make a living out of it. But the excitement of the art and stuff like that, sort of,
This is getting creative, yeah.
yeah, and just so I've been like scrolling through Mad Specials, looking at his old, going back through catalogue of his old prints, and I'm thinking, and I've seen this Wilflex range of, God, there's so many different additives, suede additive, and I've just gone a bit mad. I think I'm going to order a bit of all sorts, and I've had this idea. I'm going to build a high build test screen, which sort of just want to live, and then I want a stack of little small pots, so I can combine my special effects inks and just see what happens. Because I ain't got a clue. I don't know what happens if I mix 50-50 sharp white plastisol 50 sharp. I assume that's just a standard I build, bog standard. But then what if I combine it? What if I do a bit of 20 whatever, and just have a mess about like Mad Special seems to do, and just see what happens. And that's like got me a little bit excited.
I think
Got a new lease of life.
The Wilflex site, the Avian site, from what I can remember from memory when I was doing this, has a lot of information there with files that you can download and make the screens.
Right.
So they show you the prints. If you have a look on their website, I'm watching me taking it off now, but they used to show you the print, then give you the files so you could make the screens.
Right.
And then tell you which inks they used to make it.
No,
it was all about layering these different techniques to get different results.
Yeah.
Everything from the standard HD to printing onto. I tell you one thing. Once did, it didn't work out exceptionally well. It sounds better than it was. Checker plate.
Yeah, like the pattern.
Plate. Yeah, it's a metal checker plate that you put on the floor.
All right. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Put that on the palette and print it on top of that with some special effects.
All right. So
You've got
it's almost like
palette.
when you put a piece of paper on a 2p coin and rub it. You almost do it the same sort of thing.
Yeah. And that gives some interesting results. And I fully encourage you to play about with different textures like that. And for some one-off stuff for like Mad Specials. Problem being, you try and transfer that to an auto, and we're back to I want an automatic so that I can produce the same image over and over again efficiently.
Yeah.
Well, this is like... I'll go off on a tangent this time. Somebody asked me the question this week, what advice would I give for printing over pockets on hoodies?
Right.
And my advice was, don't fucking do it.
Just don't bother. Just don't do it. No.
I hate it with a passion. I think it should be banned. I don't think it's a good technique whatsoever. And I was working at a place, and they said, well, we've done it like this for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And I've got on my IRs, and I'm like, no, it's rubbish. The first print will look like the second print.
Yeah.
The deposit that's left on the seam will
Start to
transfer
build
to the next one, and it won't be in the right place. You'll get smudging, you won't get the registration. And they basically said, well, we're doing it. I've been doing this 30 years, and I proper got on my IRs about it. Turns out I was wrong. They printed them, and would I have rejected them on a quality issue? Yeah, 100%.
Right.
But was it commercially acceptable? Yeah.
Depends on what it is as well, doesn't it?
An
If
abstract
it's a abstract or distressed,
skulls, butterflies, that sort of stuff. Yeah. And
people into that, aren't
It works really well.
they? Yeah.
So I had to eat my words and go, okay, yeah. I don't like it, but can we take the base off this because it's not registering? And now it looks all right. It looks like an all-over print. If you remember, the very first all-over prints had this awful seam print here. Where they couldn't quite get it right.
Yeah. It was like, what do we call it? Was it Tom Hardy or something? That sort of burst. Tom Hardy, I think. Burst not seeing it, and everybody were doing it. It was like big all-over discharge with then another print on top of it.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like glitters. It was like phases of fashions and stuff like that.
I'm old enough now to see them all go back round again. I'm waiting for foil and
Full circle. Yeah.
foil and glitter to come back round again. High build. So the first high build I did was for Lego, and it was
a Lego piece.
Tire tracks. No, the tire tracks of a Lego car.
Right.
So you know they're like the black rubber
Yeah.
or a Lego car.
Oh, yeah, like blocky.
So this were for a kids print, and it were like a big, I think it were a tractor or something, but the wheels were right up at the front in focus, and we had to print this black high build, and it was horrendous. It was mentally scarring. It was
just
one of
hard
those
work.
things that you have to go to therapy afterwards.
God.
I was printing it on an auto. Nobody had heard of it before. We weren't particularly proficient in making high build screens.
No.
So we just got given this ink, special ink. It's not about how you print it, it's special ink. All right, okay, we're up for that. This ink was basically, you know the gypsies that come and want to do your drive? It's basically straight out the back of a tarmac wagon.
Yeah. Oh.
It was basically tarmac. You break the palette knife. Just break it. Clean in half. You're like, what's going on? This is awful. When you finally got it onto the screen, trying to get it to push through the mess was just horrendous. We did about 20,000 of them.
20,000, jeez.
In the end, you end up thinning it down. It almost becomes like a normal black, but anyway, it's shiny.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing. I've got this new. I'm feeling very inspired. I'm really excited, and there's a bit of fire inside me now, which I'm not saying has been missing. It comes and goes, new things come, and I think, ooh, I'm always simmering. I'm always simmering with motivation, but now there's something burning, and I'm not looking to.
Busy though, aren't you? Sometimes you
I know
busy
this is
fuck about with that stuff.
Yeah, I am. Totally am. And but do you know what? I think I've almost got to allow myself just a little bit of time for that side, the fun, creative, maybe even experimental, just stuff that makes me happy. It all makes me happy, but stuff that makes me really happy and really like just burns a bit of motivation inside me. Just allow a little bit of time for that, because that's only going to take everything forward. Because one, the happier, the more motivated, the more energetic I am about things, everything else is going to benefit. But also learning new skills. You've got to push yourself forward, and you've got to learn new skills. And even though on a commercial level, as a business, how valuable it is going to be to mass produce iBuild for me, I don't know, probably not overly great, but I'm getting a bit of a buzz from doing it, so I'm going to do it anyway.
It's all
basically
creativity. It feeds your creativity, because if not, there's a danger of you believing or understanding or being convinced that you work in a t-shirt in a toothpaste factory. You know, your job is just to screw the lids on.
Yeah.
Screwing lids on toothpaste all day long. You know,
Yeah.
It's just a production line, knocking out widgets, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So without that little bit of creativity,
You can usually connect. You can usually connect when I'm personally motivated and happy and inspired, because there'll be plenty on Instagram. And when there isn't, it means I'm just doing your typical jobs that come in every day that are just business logos, etc., etc., etc.
Plumbers,
There's nothing
builders,
that's like eye-catching. Yeah. And as much as I get a level of enjoyment out of it, I'm not going to say I dislike it. Absolutely not. I enjoy doing it. No matter what it is, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the process of screen printing. It's just not aesthetically. It's good, but it's not like, oh, this is a buzz. This is great. And every now and again, like that CMYK print I did, that was a buzz. That was great. And playing about with some special effectings, same sort of thing. So yeah. So
it's good. I think if you go in any print shop in the UK, always in the corner, usually on the high point of the shelf in the ink kitchen, there is some special effects inks. But at some point, somebody's gone, oh, it'd be good to play about with these. And then real life kicks in and you get busy and nobody ever asks for it. You remember Crack Ink? And that's not that's not the guys in your alley down below you. Those guys. Not selling the same sort of stuff.
No.
Crack Ink was huge at one bit, and everybody bought some, and we thought it were great, and then it fell off the side of a cliff. Nobody wants it again.
No.
And now everybody's got some some crack in the print shop now. Everybody's got some special effects in a corner somewhere that they've thought, yeah, this will be great. But I think it leads, it feeds nicely into something that I got taught, which was you have to offer this thing, this next new thing, this whiz that you've got. You have to offer it, because if you don't, the guy down the road will. Now,
Yeah.
the thing that I saw, the closest I saw, was the embossing.
Yeah.
Manufacturing, doing the embossing machine, and we bought the embossing machine, bought the silicon to go on the back of it, printing it. It's an absolute pain in the arse. I'm like, there's no way we can make money out of this. That's not what it's about. It's about proving
Just keep it up with everybody
that
else.
you can do it. So basically, when you stand in front of the people who are buying from you, you go, we can do this high build, we can do this emboss, we can do this crack, but it's a special deal around the back. We can do this. And they go, wow, they're fantastic. Give me all those special effects, lads. Take them away. I'll show everybody. This will be superb. Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
They go away, and a week later they go, yeah, can we have 1,001 colour on the left chest? Hang on. What about all the special effects stuff? I go, yeah, it's lovely. It's great. It's super. But we'll just have 1,000 left chest, if you don't mind. With a special effect? No, just white.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it's usually because we've seen the invoice. It's not cheap, is it? It's all fun and games, this playing with special effects and stuff. But when you put that invoice in front of whoever wants it, it sharp turns into
proper question. How much have you paid for those 2 pots of ink?
about 90 quid each.
So you're a couple of £100 down already.
200 quid for 2 pots of ink. Yeah.
You're £200 down. How
Yeah.
are you going to get that £200 back?
Well, probably not. On the content of them tubs right there, in the grand scheme of things, how long is it going to take me to get it back? I mean, in 10 years of screen printing, there's only been one person who has ever asked me for it. One person in 10 years.
Makes the question, what the fuck are you doing it for then?
Well, literally, there's just a little bit of just because I'm just excited by the idea of it, to be honest. I'm not going to make any money. I might make my money back. I might cover the cost. I mean, I probably will make money because, to be honest, there's one customer who, in 10 years, is the only customer who every time he gets on the phone is like, right, what can we do that's different? Can we combine glitter with high build and make it glow in dark or whatever? Any crazy idea. He always wants something with a tactile finish or something totally different. And he's the only customer I've ever had who's ever had that mindset. And he's sort of pushed me across the line into this direction of special effects. One, I want to accommodate him as best as I possibly can within reason. I'm not going to bankrupt myself trying to keep up with all his ideas. But if I can help in some way and I can achieve some of what he's asking, then I'll be happy. And if I can learn some new skills and if I can just give myself a kick up the arse and just feel a little bit excited about what I'm doing, then that's no bad thing at all. And that's literally it. It's that simple. This investment in special effects inks, time invested in learning, practicing, messing up, testing. It's not going to make me money, but
no, it feeds
I'm going to enjoy
creativity.
it. Yeah, it's just that's all it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
for any awards or anything you want to enter into competitions? Because there are competitions for good prints and speciality.
I've never heard that. I mean, I nearly said just then, there's only one Mad Specials. That's probably for a very good reason.
Yeah.
There's one Mad Special because the only one who wants to play it's expensive. He's cracked it. That bloke's a mad scientist. And who can compete? I've not got any ambition to consider myself the next Mad Specials because can I make a business out of that? I don't know. I don't think so.
Can you make a business out of it? I think that's it, isn't it, really? There are, like I said, there are competitions you can enter. I think Print My Own Promotion in Birmingham in January, they always have a thing on. I can remember, God, too many years ago, putting a print in and it winning. We were like,
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
really? Wow.
Right.
And that was a mixture of screen print, embroidery, and transfer.
Ah,
All
interesting.
on the same shirt.
Yeah.
And a plique, because the transfer was a plique.
And did they overlap in any way?
Yeah.
Or is it just like screen print?
No, printed the background and then dropped the embroidery over the top so it looked like part of the design. And then one of the characters was an octopus, and that was made from blue transfer vinyl that wasn't applied.
Oh, so it was almost like loose. So it was like
So that
flappy.
felt like an octopus, yeah.
Oh, very good. Very tactile and interesting. We once combined. Go on, I cut you up then.
So try, overlapping different techniques, and it works really, really well.
Yeah. Well, we just had a little bit of that where we combined screen print with vinyl. Pain in the ass, but it looked cool. I don't know. Well, I knew it would. I almost regretted.
The problem is because you, when you take it off the press, you stretch it. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Stretching it when you take it off the press. So other than using a former, a solid stiffener in between, and then taking it straight over to the heat press.
Yeah.
There's not a lot you can do.
It was exactly as we've just said. So it was fun. It was creative. It was a challenge.
Yeah.
On a business perspective, terrible idea. Utterly useless. Because the amount of time I spent trying to, a few minutes of time trying to get the vinyl to match up. Just stupid. Just silly. But anyway, I did it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. So whatever.
It can be good. I've done quite a few sort of full production jobs that are like that, where a typical example would be a photographic image with big white blocky text.
Yeah.
So the big white blocky text is almost too much to weed. Too much to weed and to lay out, and cutting this piece of printable vinyl this big. There's a lot of money in that, because it's all about area. So, what would be better would be to print the white text and drop the square photograph in the middle as just a cut off, and then I can get like 300 per run instead of 25 because of all the dead space between the letters. And I've done that before. And what we do there is we'll print a little crosshair. Yeah. So we know where to put the square in the middle. And it works really, really well.
Yeah.
But as you found out, you can't put too much ink down because it doesn't stick to it very well.
No. You don't want to go too crazy. We once did, the only other thing I can compare, we did a screen print of like an anime Japanese cartoon character. And I screen printed the background, and then a fella embroidered the characters over it. So that was pretty cool. But again, there were no accuracy. It was a background, so it was just like a pattern, and there was no importance of it like precisely landing in the right place. As long as it were thereabouts, it was alright. It looked cool.
I like mixing print and embroidery. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
It can work really, really well.
So, Tony, what about you? I got that in sharpish this time. So
wow, you
I keep feeling dead ignorant.
Me, didn't you? Completely bamboozled me. Well, it's confession time. I haven't done anything again.
Right, see you next week.
I'm
taking this hat off. It's doing me head in. Go on, carry on. I'm listening.
You've changed it 3 times. It's like a costume change in between.
There we go. Right, we're good.
Yeah, another quiet week. Spent a lot of time doing the online stuff that we do, consultations online, also pestering and bullying and really sort of getting on the nerves of some of the people that want to get involved in the podcast, which we'll throw that together later on. But yeah, that's taken up a lot of time. A lot of people are now. I'm now on their block list. Thank you very much.
You've lost a lot of contacts now, or some reason.
Again, the video. What's he want a video for? It's 10 o'clock at night.
I must admit, you did a way better job than I did. I got an handful.
purely
Your
because you're
contributions are
working.
pretty
It's because
impressive.
you've got a proper job. I ain't got a proper job.
I'm too busy pissing about with freaking eyeballed.
Yeah, you've messed about your eye, Bill. No,
Yeah.
so I took up I've got a couple of jobs lined up now. So next week will be teaching manual printers, which is
Oh,
always,
that's a new one for you. Well, not new, but
it's not.
not something you do often.
It's not something I do very often.
No.
But I'm going to help some people with the manual process, which
Interesting.
it's just as important to get.
You remember?
I can remember how to push.
Give us a bell if you want. I'll give you some advice. I'm joking.
No, it's a lot of it. We say about manual. That's probably about 10-15% of it. I'll still say 85% of it is before it even gets to the press.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's the artwork. Sometimes it's the artwork. It's the little things like the artwork.
Yeah.
I went to go see a guy over in America, and I swear to God, right, the guy was working his rocks off every day, staying late at night. And I'm like, well, you've only got one press. Maybe it's time to get some staff in. If you're that pushed,
Yeah.
what eats the most of your time? Doing the separations.
Yeah.
Show me how you do the separations. Oh my God, it was like going back to 1985. It's like, whoa. Yes, it works. You've got great, it works, but you've got to draw everything, place everything, turn it to black and white, print it onto one, and then print it onto another, and then line two up because you've not got the right. Let's go right back and solve all those problems first, and I can guarantee you'll be home by 4 o'clock every night.
Yeah.
So a lot of the issues that we see is not always on press. So it doesn't really matter that you're using a manual method of pushing the ink through a screen, or you're doing it properly. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It's about number one, get the artwork right. Artwork is key. Making sure that you've got the bleed and the trap settings for your equipment. And then after that, massive screens. Gotta have the right screens. And it's not just, a bit of net curtain stretched over a wooden picture frame from your mum's back bedroom. It's got to have the right tension. It's got to be the right mesh. It's got to have the right thread diameter. Is now a huge buzzword in the industry. Everybody's about the thread diameter. The thin thread, the thick thread, the hydro thread. And it's a huge thing. It makes a massive difference.
Yeah. I've often flirted the idea, and I won't do it, but I've often flirted the idea that I would automate the screen room before the press.
Yeah,
I'm lying to myself. I won't.
I wouldn't even consider it. It's an absolute necessity.
Yeah.
Think how much you told me you spent all day Monday cleaning screens, prepping screens.
Yeah, but there's a big jump, you see. In an ideal world, if I had a budget, my shopping list would start at the screen room. I would start at automating the screen room, knowing I'm going to get a press at the end of it anyway. But in realistic terms, I'm going to get a used auto for, I don't know, 20 grand, 15, 20 grand or whatever.
New auto.
How much is it going to cost me to get?
Used. We're going for a new one.
Fucking hell. How much money do you think I make? You think I make money?
Think how much money you will make with your auto.
I know, well, there's that, yeah.
I actually had this. I'll go off on a tangent. I had this discussion with a customer who I do remote support for, and they floated the idea. I wish we did preparation because I could have told you about this beforehand, and then you should have been prepared. They floated the idea, right? So they've got one press, and they're doing okay, but as always, staff's an issue. So, what did I think about paying the staff piece rate?
Piece rate. So
piece rate. So
per
piece
that they produce.
Yes. So,
isn't that illegal?
I've had this discussion before. I've done it quite a few times as to whether you're right. Okay.
Oh, you lost the dog.
I've had this discussion before as to what what's the best way of paying somebody? You know, I've got 3 people on a press. I want them to produce 3,000 pieces a day, and if they do, do I give them a bonus or do I give them piece rate? So I say to them, okay, you can have. I'm going to make £1 every time I print.
Yeah.
I'll give you 20p of that because I've got all the costs and everything to suffer. But you know, if I say for everything I produce 20 pence in labour, off you go. Is that okay? And in theory, it sounds great. It's like communism, you know. In theory, it sounds like a good idea.
Fantastic.
But
Start
in
calling you
practice,
Stalin.
in reality and in practice, it's like, well, the screen bust, yeah, and so I only did 1,200 today. It's not my fault. Well, it's not my fault. The screen bust either. So why should I lose money because the screen bust? Because there's so many factors outside of your control when you're on a print machine. That if you were piece rate, getting paid per piece that you produce is fantastic. If you're sewing backnet labels in all day long, doesn't matter what size it is, doesn't matter what design it is. You sit there and you're sewing backnet labels in all day long. And in the right trade, it was the standard way of getting paid for a shitload of time. But we're halfway between what you were talking about, your creative process. So we're halfway between being creative and halfway being productive.
Production, yeah.
So we try as best as we can to get rid of all the variables and remove them or at least control them. And then the production should be great. But we go back to minimum orders. The whole sort of screen printing theory, the idea of these automatic octopus machines, is that you would set them up on a Monday and you wouldn't take them down again until Friday. Those days are gone. So
I'm going to say.
So how then can you say to somebody, all right, machine A, you've got 3,000 pieces to do today, one colour. Okay, awesome. I'm going to give you 20p print. Great. Machine 2, you've got 25 jobs, each of 100 pieces, 6 colours. Well, hang on, that's not fair. Well, I don't know why. You've got 2,500 to do, he's got 3,000 to do. So if he gets 3,000 at 20p a print, he gets more money than you. That's not right. That's not fair. Now, surely we've got to rate it on difficulty of job.
Yeah.
It's a print.
You'd almost have to do, I think even legally, you'd almost have to have a flat wage, but then you could incentivise your employees, if you're in an auto shop, a big auto shop, flat rate, everybody gets paid a wage, obviously, and then there's an incentivised where if you'll get an order for 10,000 pieces, you work out a percentage of each shirt. So let's just that sort of cuts out. All right, well, this is only a single colour job. He could do 50,000 single colours, whereas Barry on machine number 2 is doing a 6 colour job. He can only do 3,000 at the same time. So he's going to get paid more just because he's got an easier job. So if you did it as a percentage of the order total per piece, that'd balance out, because then you'd have no discrepancies between the complexity of the job. If you know what I mean, if that makes sense. I think that makes sense.
It makes sense, and I've seen this applied in the real world, which is where I go in and I say, you have to apply a time value to the job. It can't be number of pieces. It simply can't, because a 2-colour white flash red onto Gildan hoodies can be more difficult or run slower, which is what we're on about, than the same 2-colour job on Gildan tees.
Yeah.
So you have to apply a time value. So this job has a time value of 43 minutes. If you do it in 35, that's where your bonus is, in that set time. And I've tried to do this on a... I gave somebody that very similar speech, which was broad and quite sort of wide encompassing. And they took it to heart, went and did the whole spreadsheet, predictions, everything. it caused absolute ructions on the shop floor over 4 machines. Because one girl was just doing the single colour high vis and the single colour teas. Only because she had a machine that had 3 heads broken on it and only 2 of them worked. So her machine could only do this little simple stuff. Now, according to the calculation that we'd worked out, she was pretty much Marty McFly. She was finishing the job before she started it. You know what I mean? End of the day, she met her parents. It's like, what's going on here?
It's starting pub. Everybody's slaving away. She's got a bonus starting pub.
And it caused divisions in the workplace because trying to pay people across different machines on a broad formula of, okay, everybody gets 10 pence a print.
It's getting a bit Jeff Bezos, this, isn't it? It's turning to bleeding Amazon. You'll be timing dinners and everything here. You think you're getting paid?
You
just have 5 minute extra dinner.
Happens, you know?
I know, yeah. I'm sure it does.
Places, and it's not a little creative shop that where everybody stops for
it's a high production.
Paints the name on the wall. You know, like that painting behind you probably took 2 hours. 3 hours.
A couple hour job. Yeah.
Well, you couldn't do that with 3 people in a print shop where, you know, I used the one over in Leicester, Melton Mowbray or somewhere over there, where they have to hit a certain run rate, otherwise that's what pays for the lights to come on and everything, and we fall below that, and now I'm dipping into my pocket to give you 200 quid every hour, 200 quid every hour, 200 quid every hour.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not the shop's not too far removed from what I've got, a few levels above, if you want to call it levels or whatever, and that 2 hours that I spent on here, that's a figure, that's a number, probably in the thousands, which the people, you know, the bloke or woman or whoever's in charge, that's all they see. They see the figure, they see, right, that 2 hours time, you go have an hour's dinner, there's a number that you've just cost me, you've physically cost me. For me, it's not so bad because I'm just a silly little screen printer in my little shop by myself and with a little bit of help, but I can be distracted to an extent.
I think you'd be surprised, you know, if you looked at your numbers, your figures, and you went, okay, I've got a year's worth of figures here. What does it physically cost me to walk in and turn the lights on? That's not wages. Yeah. Not wages. Just physically, what does it cost me? All my insurances, all my lights that I turn on, all my rent and all that. What does it actually cost me per year? Then you divide that down by how many hours you work in that year, and then all of a sudden you're realising that, hang on, if I pay these 2 staff that you've got, Jade and Jasmine, if I pay them 3 hours to do that, that's actually cost me 500 quid.
Yeah. It is something I've done.
Got onto that. It's your job to bring me back from these tangents.
No, it's your job to bring me back. Somehow you've ended up taking that role. I don't know what's going on.
I can't
We're like swapped.
I
was waiting for you to make a poo joke or something. That's what's going on.
I don't know where we went with that. I don't know where we're going. That one we started talking about.
I haven't a clue what we were talking about. 3D, I think. I mean, it has sort of brought up an instance that has happened today, like literally today. And it's sort of along the lines of the old pricing thing and how much everything costs and all this. And we had a bloke order some T-shirts, 20 T-shirts, single colour print.
This is not me again, is it? You're not bed.
No, this one you, I promise you. I like your shirt, by the way. It looks fantastically printed. Whoever screen printed that, placed it bang on.
Best feel ever.
Right on boob, is that? Yep. Bang on.
How many fingers down is that?
It's 2.5 inches, you'll find. Oh God, here we go. Tangent number 2. Tangent, before I go back to my other tangent, here's a tangent. Rule of thumb. Now, I know there are a couple of different rules, and the 2 that I know is 4 down, 4 across. That point where it meets, that's where you'd want to centre your chest badge. And then there are some people who just go 2.5 inch down, or 3 inch down, or, you know what I mean? What's your rule of thumb?
1971. That's when we stopped using inches.
Yeah, you know what? I know. I don't know why. I didn't go to school. I don't know if I mentioned.
These are not accurate measurements.
No, I have a
Fat
ruler
sausage
printed.
fingers.
No, I'm with you on that one. I agree with you there.
Mine is 7. So mine is
7 centimetre.
7, and it's always from the bottom
The
ribbon of
bottom,
the collar.
that bit.
The bottom,
Yeah.
because this top ribbon
Not the
goes
top.
up and down.
Yeah.
And I always go centre of there, centre of there.
Way up. Just draw that line again. Right, I'm going to cut the first one out.
Now that we've got the internet, I need to Google a fact that stuck with me from being about 17 years old. When I first walked into a print shop and we had to know where to put this this left chest, which we've always called left breast, but it seems to have moved to left chest now. Anyway.
Left chest.
People don't like the word breast, maybe. So the fact I got thrown at in 1987 was no person's nipples are more than 11 inches apart.
Right, where's my ruler?
Google, don't, because it's true, so don't measure.
11 inches?
11 inches.
I'm going to try that in a bit.
Yeah. I don't know where it came from. It must have been some sort of urban myth, but I've used it in my calculations. I've gone, okay. So then the centre point's 5.5. So if I go then to the centre, I had a full working calculator for a dynamic print. So according to the size of this is the placement from here. Because what I did was write a script in Illustrator, which would put this position exactly according to this height.
Why are you not selling this, Tony?
Because if you ask me, I'll give it for free.
Before we started this podcast, we had a little chat, and we both agreed we're really shit at this business thing. We've just done this podcast purely just for the sake of having a bit of a chat and a laugh, and
the money thing just goes over our head, doesn't it? Really, we're not sponsored. We're not, and we could be. We're not really gaining any money from it, and it's sort of like one of those things that, like, yeah, I suppose if we were ruthless, we could charge for this and put it behind paywalls and use discount codes and all this, but we're just two blokes from Yorkshire having a chat about what we did this week.
I mean, it's a mystery to me. It's always been a mystery to me. In these 10 years, I definitely feel like an underachiever. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just not ruthless enough. Maybe I'm just not... maybe that ruthless businessman... There's a businessman in here, somewhere in my head. No, he's not ruthless. And maybe that's it.
You can't be a nice guy and be a businessman, can you? That's what it is.
Yeah. There's an element of it.
I'd rather be a nice guy.
Yeah. Well, so I built good shit, like it.
So it brought you on to something that happened in your shop.
Oh, what was my first tangent? Which I completely
brought you on to something that happened in your shop today, which is about the cost of stuff and the price of money.
It's a bit boring, but I'll tell you anyway. So we did a job for somebody, 20 prints, single colour.
There we go.
Easy as it gets.
We're back now.
We're back to where we started. And it was a certain price in May.
Okay.
Prices have changed. And they have come back for 200 prints.
Okay.
But it's 10 designs. So 200 split of it. So it's still orders of 20.
Yeah.
And the price for a single colour run of 20 shirts has gone up.
Yeah.
Simply. And we've been back and forth. He's asked for full breakdowns. My pricing structure's changed. It used to be that I'd put an invoice, I'd tell you it costs this much for screen setup, this much for artwork, this much per print. The garment was this much, the postage, etc. We've gone with a completely new pricing system, which I borrowed from Printavo. I've edited it. I've made it work for me as best as I can. It's a bit of it's a bit of a mind fuck, to be honest. But I feel like I've got it somewhere right. And so the invoices look different. The invoices says 20 screen printed t-shirts with a single colour print, so and so, so and
X
so,
amount, yeah.
this much per t-shirt.
Yeah.
No breakdown of setup, etc. And it's gone up a bit. And the guy's asking for, first of all, it's noticed it's gone up a bit. Now, it's gone up a bit for some prints, but then for some prints it's actually come down. And it's not dramatic either way. It just, the calculator works things out differently to a flat fee. Everything was always a flat fee. So in some instances, people who order bulk and order more, they actually get a better price from me now. Whereas if you order a smaller amount, it's a little bit more pricey. And that's basically to cover my bills and the amount of effort and time I put into a print. The amount of effort it takes me to set up and stand at that press and print 20 t-shirts, it's not too far removed from if I did a 3-colour job, because it's preparation and artwork and screen setup and exposing and all that. That's the time.
The most expensive shirt is that first one that you print.
Yeah.
After that, and if we say to an auto, I can print you one shirt, right? And getting that print to the press, that's expensive.
Yeah.
The next 99 shirts on an auto at full speed take me 6 minutes.
Yeah.
6 minutes. But I can put 4 hours into getting it to that point. But on press, the difference between 50 and 100 is 3
not so
minutes.
much. Not a lot at all. No. Crazy. I mean,
I've
for
had
me, it's a bit more, but like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's such a small amount of time that we have to measure it roughly about the same sort of time we have a prime minister. It's it's a really, really small amount of time.
Quicker than a lettuce can go off or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So the guy complained, did he?
So it's just, and we've sort of explained it to him. I've explained, look, one of the things they said was, well, you used to have a price guide. Can we see a new price guide so we can get our head around it? Then I had to sort of explain, well, no, we've not really got a price guide now. No, it's not a set table. No, it's a spreadsheet. We put the garment price in, and we put, well, it's going to take this long to do the artwork, this long to do the screen setup, etc. And then it calculates it. We type in how many garments or how many impressions, how many prints we're going to do, and then it says, right, it's going to cost you this much each, and then it's literally just a case of copy and pasting it into invoice. So it'd be impossible, and it's not. It used to be price brackets, so I don't know, 20 to 50, 50 to 100, but it would be the same print price. So if you ordered 49, it'd cost you the same as it would per print for 20. And I came to the conclusion that's not the greatest way of doing things. Now, if you order 49, the print price will be different for 50 or 48. It's individual now.
Where's the number? Are you working out on the time? Are you giving it a time value?
It's a formula, yeah. It's the formula of the spreadsheet. You can all find it. It's from Printavo. Go on Google, look for it. It's a spreadsheet that's available that's been edited by multiple print shops who have sort of had their input, and I've taken it. And the idea is it's free. It's free for all print shops to go use, have a look. Printavo's put it out there, but it's sort. You read the document, the documents that come with it. It's there as a baseline. You take it for your shop, and then you have to apply your situation to it, because every print shop's different. We all have different ways of doing things. What works for me won't work for you. And so I've taken this spreadsheet and I've made it work for this shop as best as I can. So anyway, so to answer your question, I didn't really answer your question then, did I? Yeah, it takes into account all your bills, the time it takes to print it, and it's a formula, a very complex formula, which I could not have done myself. And it gives you a value at the end of it.
I like the fact it works on time, because
it seems to do.
People all the time is we are not selling t-shirts, we are selling time.
Yeah.
The more time it takes me, the more expensive it will be.
Yeah.
So therefore, I am not selling a t-shirt or a product. I am selling you time. If you want to book 3 hours on my press, it's going to cost you this. If you want to book 10 minutes on my press, it's going to cost you this. So it's all about time.
So explaining to someone that the price difference between a single colour print and a two colour print, why is there not such a big jump or whatever? Well, it's simple. It doesn't take me that much longer. So
it's an extra 3
anyway.
minutes. Yeah.
So anyway, we had all that, and eventually his last email, which we are leaving, we are going to let him stew on it. I hope he don't listen. It's basically
we are getting more listeners, you know.
I know, but it'd be a stretch if that'd just be my luck. That anyway, it will basically something like, "Will you do it at the old price?" And like, is there a business? Is there a shop in town? Is there a bill that is the same price today as it was in May? But for some reason, when you're especially as a small business, I have to hand print these things. I have to put all the work in. I have to do everything. I'm not Amazon. I'm not a big chain. We're expected to take the cuts. The smaller businesses, etc., we're the ones who have to fucking work for now.
10%.
So anyway,
10% inflation since May.
he can stew on it. He can stew on it, and he can think about his actions.
Everything you're doing is now 10% more expensive.
Yeah. That's crackers, isn't it?
It's huge. You know, you walk into Greg's, right, and you say, "Can I have a sausage roll?" Yeah, it's £1.20 now. Oh, can you do it at May's price? Well, no, because this is today's sausage roll. I can get your last May's sausage roll. You can have that, but it won't be nice.
Won't be up to much.
So if you want it now and today, it's 10% more expensive. Well, that's not fair. Well, take a look out in the real world. It's not fair. You know,
we worked it out. The old prices, there was £160 difference over 200 t-shirts. Well, 10 jobs of 20. 10 jobs of 20, varying amounts of colours, 1 colour, 2 colour, 3 colour. So it's a random mix. 200 t-shirts split between 10 jobs. £160. I honestly, in my head, that doesn't seem like a lot. I don't think that's not an inflation at all. If anything, it's probably not enough. But it's just what it's come out of.
You're still getting good value. It's usually resellers that argue about that, though, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. Well, it's somebody setting up a brand, but anyway.
Have you not seen those people come and go so many times? I'm going to be the next Nike.
we got the standard line. Look, can you do it? Can you do it
cheap
for last year's prices?
Yeah.
Because we're going to have thousands.
Yeah.
It's going to take off. And he used big words like projected revenue and stuff like that. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Do you know how many times I've seen that email?
We've all seen it so many times. And we all also know, okay, you're a small place, a brand, trying to get going. You're a Gymshark, yeah? And I'm going to print you these for 50p, no worries. But when I get big, I'll use you and I'll do thousands. Oh, awesome. Fantastic, mate, yeah. So they get big. What do? Get them made in China.
Get them made in China or make up your own shop.
Yeah. The last thing they want to do is use the guy that they started with. So no, screw you. Pay top price.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. It's inflation. If I give you a tenner in May and ask for it back today, you could quite rightly only give me £9.
Oh, right. So I had I don't want to take this. I didn't have this idea. RJ had a really good idea today. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to tell Tony this.
Okay.
So think about this. Setting up a job, you're printing 100 t-shirts, a couple of colour print.
RJ. Right. I've just got to say, anybody listening in America, RJ is not like R. Kelly.
No.
It's not a prefix. It's just our Jade.
Our Jade, yeah. It's a Yorkshire. Basically, it means your sibling.
Your sibling, our Jade.
Yeah, not the Jade bit. That's the name. Our or our is It's my sister. Anyway, our Jade came up with this idea, and you know what? I thought it's not a bad idea. This. I've not given it too much thought. So I don't. But maybe you can give me the practicalities.
I'll rip it to bits if it's crap, don't worry.
Well, it's our Jade's, so I'll pass it on and let her know that Tony ripped it to bits. So let's just say we're printing 100 t-shirts, good quality garments. couple of colour design, screen print them, end at run. What do? Strip press down, get it on. Right? No. This is what we want. This is what we should. This is what we could do as an habit. Print an handful of transfers. Now, the reason for that is, what happens if the customer emails back and says, "Oh, one of these is fucked. The sleeve's fallen off, or the print's not quite straight." You've got to set up all them bloody screens again. You've got to go through all that hassle. Or you've got to upset the customer and say, "Well, we're not going to do this. Here's your money back." But every now and again, some of them customers are like, "Well, I had them pre-ordered." What if, by habit, you just do an extra, you do a few transfers extra at the end of every run, leave them there for a few weeks, and then if there's any comeback, you sort it, aren't you?
Absolutely perfect. Great idea. Why do you think nobody does it?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not giving it much thought.
Think it through.
All right, hang on. Let me think about this. Oh shit! Transfers are backwards, aren't they?
There you go.
Right, we'll edit that bit out as well.
No. We are keeping that bit in because you can see when you play that back, you'll see my smug face all the way through your explanation, and it's worth it just for that.
I actually said to Tony, "I'm having a beer for this episode. Only one. I'm lying about 12." That's why I came up with that great idea.
No, Jade came up with that idea. Remember?
Jade came up with that idea.
Yeah. So
like I said, I've not thought it through. I'm sure there was.
We'll let Jade know it's not going to work unless you turn your screens round.
What a shame. It was a good idea though, from
Awesome
somebody
idea.
who's not a screen printer.
Yeah, awesome. Great idea.
It's a thought that counts, isn't it? Yeah, well, never mind.
Yeah, they were a good idea.
Try again. Cool. So, what do you know? I seem to have took over here a bit. So, what do you
I've let
know?
you know. Don't forget, I've had a sat on my ass week, haven't I?
You've had a boring week.
Another one.
Show us your new toy. Oh my god, that sounded off wrong, didn't it? Show us your new little thing that you showed me earlier. That sounds worse, doesn't it? Just get it out and save it, please. Just save me.
No. Okay, this is something that I'm going to start selling on my website.
Cool. What is it?
It's a squeegee on a stick. It's for,
Right.
you know, if you look at this design here, somebody's left a piece of cotton in, just there.
Shut
you
up.
know. So we get a little bit of white ink and we can actually squeegee
Just dab
over
it
the
on.
top, and it doesn't leave anything. I'm going to stick a video on my Instagram of a couple of people using them. I found
That's a
them
really cool idea.
really effective.
It's a good idea. I always use the wrong end of a paintbrush, but it's not. If it's a real bad fuck up, you can make it look a bit
actually-
lumpy and not very good.
You can fill the void with these little rubber squeegees on a stick.
Well, it's a
basically.
squeegee, isn't it? So it's like
Yeah.
you'll get a smooth finish.
I've got to be honest, right? I got quite a few of them, and when I went over to
So you need to push them.
no, when I went over to, because they've got different types, and I wanted somebody to do me some stickers to brand them, you know, as palm prints,
Yeah.
like a large format printer,
Yeah.
and I didn't actually go visit anybody for about 4 weeks, but I was in America. So my good friends over in America printed me some little palm print stickers, and I stuck them all on, and they looked fantastic, and they were great. And I put them in my bag, and then my bag fucked off of its own accord halfway through Mexico. So somebody somewhere's got a MacBook and loads of these rubber things that they've got nothing to do with.
Oh, God's sake. They all think it's like a stylus hot screen. They're trying to work out password with a stylus.
This work, yeah.
Oh, flipping heck.
So start again.
Oh, well.
As with everything.
Cool
in
idea,
the
though.
bag. But here we go. Such is life. I hope they enjoy it. Robin.
Now, is that a Tony Palmer invention?
No.
Or have you
no,
just
I stole it
stumbled
from
upon them and just thought,
No, I stole it from someone else.
I've never seen them. It's cool, though.
No, I had
like
seen
it.
them before, and I saw them, and I'm like, oh, I quite like that. But that's, do you know, that's probably one of the best bits of this job is going round and seeing what different people do to solve the same problem.
Yeah.
So, you know, we might have a problem. Cleaning screens. Cleaning screens is a problem. We've always done it a certain way. We do it if we do it our way. whether you scrape as much off and you card it in the press, whether some people wash it in the press because it's like it's been held for you. I know what's in a place. I'm like, what's that weird table over there? And this table was sort of like made specifically to drop a screen on, clean, turn over, clean again, didn't touch anything, stayed spotless. I'm like, what a superbly simple idea.
Yeah,
it's not just a table; it's a table with screen resters on, so that nothing gets dirty and nothing gets full of crap. I'm like, awesome idea. Squeegee racks, I go to places and I've got bespoke squeegee racks that cost an absolute fortune to drag all these squeegees on. I go to another place and I've been to like B&Q and bought some slap board.
Dowel rod.
And it just so happens it fits on beautifully.
Fits in there.
Great idea. Yeah. The first time I ever saw inline foiling.
Oh, yeah.
So I've played with machines that do inline foiling. So this is basically printing the plastisol, flashing it, and then using a mechanical arm to come across, lay the foil, heat press it, lift it back up, wait, do everything. And I was in South America somewhere. I'm like, what's going on there? What's that big bag? It's just a big bag of old foil. Well, what's the guy doing leaning over the machine? So I've got a guy leaning over the machine. He's got a rolled up T-shirt in his hand, and as it comes out the flash, proper red hot, throws a bit of foil on it, rubs it down, and then lifts it off again. I'm like, but it works.
It works, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's one of the best parts. I've got shitloads of those, and I don't claim them as my own. They're not my own. One of the foil, the gluing application was one. We've always used rollers for applying water-based glue onto the pallets. I was in a factory and this guy comes out with a rolled up T-shirt, gets this T-shirt, and rolls it up really intricately. Like this, and it goes like that. And then he wraps a bit of tape around the bottom of it, and he's got this dabber. It's bigger than that, and I'm like, what's he gonna do with that? Dipped it in the glue, ran it on the thing.
Oh, do you know what?
I'm like,
so simple.
Are you kidding me? I've got all sorts of sprays.
I'm going to say, I've seen
things.
airbrush guns and stuff.
That's like just a simple idea. Not only that, it also squashed all the fibre down on the pallet as well to give them a smooth thing to print onto. I'm like,
genius.
But it might not dry. The pallet's warm. If we don't stop, it dries straight away.
Pretty quick.
Wow, what a great idea. Such a simple idea.
It's a very insignificant part of a print shop, you would think. Adhesive, adhesive, is that the word? Applying adhesive to pallets. It's not adhesive. Sticking up your pallets. You think something you sort of brush over. You think that wasn't a pun, but ain't it a pain in the ass? Because if you use aerosols, it just gets everywhere. Apart from in your lungs, everything you touch in shop is sticky. And then you use a roll-on ones, but then you get drips, and then it splashes, and then you have to go around edges with a baby wipe. And it's one of those things that should be such a simple job, but there's so many different ways of doing it, and there's all got the pros and cons.
I think
just get a scrunched up T-shirt.
Yeah, we go back to screen printing sort of being a bit make do and mend.
Yeah,
we sort of like, okay, how do we hold this down? Well, we'll get some spray mount, because people used to call it spray mount in the beginning. Spray mount's a product made by 3M to put card onto card when you're mounting a graphic display.
Oh yeah,
and so you call it spray mount, and we used to use that. It was a tin. We're like, can we get anything else? And then eventually you get this. Oh, can we get one for heat? And now we've got this perfect product, but actually, what we're using it for is not perfect. We're spraying it from here. It bounces all over the press. The damage that it does to presses is untrue. Yeah. I breathed it in for like 25 years. I used to be fit and young and healthy, but and it's not great. So then somebody came along with, what about water-based adhesive? It's clean. It's good for the environment. No CFCs. Don't bounce all over the place. It's good for the people, and it falls into that category again that somebody asked me about again today. Yes, it's better for you, but worse at the job it's supposed to be. We had a discussion about
definitely
about toxic screen cleaners, so sodium hydrochlorides, these bleaching products that are really, really bad for you, but excellent at cleaning screens. So what do we do? We find something that's better for us, better for the environment. Turtles and dolphins every episode. It's good for the turtles and dolphins. But it's actually
I saw a dolphin last week.
But it's actually crap. You didn't touch it though, did you? Because you're not allowed to.
No,
Maths teacher said you're not allowed to.
I'll leave that to maths teachers.
So we find a product made from orange juice. If you remember those, I don't know how old you are, but the gooey green stuff or the gooey orange stuff that was made from citrus oil, and citrus oil.
Oh, mechanics use it.
No, well, no, the original citrus oil used to. It was a byproduct of making orange juice, but somebody found that it removed grease. So grease wasn't that far away from plastisol ink, a solvent, oil-based. So we tested it. Fucking hell, it worked. But it wasn't good. It just worked. It didn't work great because we used to use cellulose thinners. Cellulose thinners, Christ. I mean, it's really bad. But that's what we used to use to clean up. And cellulose thinners was bad for us, bad for the press, bad for your hands, bad for the environment, bad for everything, but it cleaned really well. And so when we swap it for one that's good for the environment, good for the turtles and dolphins, probably a good cost, good for the press, good for everything, it doesn't clean very well. And we've got we've got the same with glue, water-based glue. Yeah, fantastic. I insist on it. I love it, but it's not as good as picking up a can of spray tan in the middle of a sweatshirt order,
and I can't help
moving
myself.
all over the place.
No, I can't help myself. It's just so much easier. I've got the water-based stuff, and if I can find an application that's as easy or as close to easy as just going every now and again, then I'm all for it. I just can't help myself.
Somebody asked me, and they think they've seen it, and I've looked all over the internet for it, and I can't see it. So if anybody, any one of our 12 listeners, is actually seen this, imagine when you were a kid, and you used to have white pumps, white trainers, and you used to have to dye them white. You used to have to make them white with that thing that, like a sponge on end. God, am I showing my age? Look at you.
You are, because I have not got a clue what you're talking about right now.
green flash, yeah.
I could probably go for a piss whilst you explain this, because it's just over my head.
So the white, it was like a white shoe dye. You must have seen the black shoe polish in like a little tub that you and you press it down like it's like a big bingo dabber. There you go, big bingo dabber.
I've seen black polish. Yeah.
So imagine glue in one of those. So you've basically got a dabber.
Yeah.
With a bottle behind it. So you basically just go like that over it.
Oh, so it's just a bingo dabber with
water-based glue in
water-based adhesive. Well, funnily enough, well, as you were speaking, what came to my head was show and tell time. Here we go. We could squeeze one in this episode. Right.
There's your ghost pool reference. Plunger cans.
Wouldn't it be handy? This won't work because it'll get all gunked up and it'll just solidify.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if you had water-based adhesive, you get your scrap shirt and you just plunge it down. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you could get your adhesive to a consistency where it wouldn't dry up and clog the vent.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't dry on the pallet.
Probably not. No. So somebody needs to invent it.
Yeah.
And then we'll sell it alongside our
Chippy Tea
sticks
LED.
with a bit of rubber on end, Chippy Tea UV ink, and water adhesive plungers.
On a side note, on Chippy Tea LED UV ink.
Oh, I hope.
I'm speaking to a guy who can make me a flash unit, which flashes this LED that fits on a press, and it's not big.
Oh, wow.
And so it travels with the squeegee like that.
Oh, wow.
And flashes the ink and don't use hardly any electric and gives off no heat.
Jesus.
Watch
Like,
this space.
seriously, Tony.
Watch this.
We need
space.
to edit this out. This is your Jeff Bezos, whatever it's
Patenting,
called,
yeah.
moment.
Patenting it, yeah, definitely.
Honestly, we could save the planet with that invention.
Screw the planet. I won't make loads of money.
Well, exactly.
But turtles and dolphins are fine now. I keep paying 60p every time I go to Morrison's and Erin, every time to save the turtles and dolphins. Surely that I've saved them all now. I personally sponsored a turtle somewhere.
Well, we're getting dolphins in Britain now, so they must be doing well. They must be all right.
No,
Sure, they're thriving.
Not if they used to go to Blackpool, now they're going to Brid.
Now they've gone downhill a bit.
Yeah, all the way from California coast, and they've ended up at just north of Hull.
God knows what. But what's on dolphin topic? I think what we've just sort of covered. It highlights there is. You must admire shops.
We didn't
Don't
cover
laugh.
anything.
We did. We covered the fact that it is easy. We've got products that are better for us, way better for us. We've got water-based adhesives. We've got water-based inks.
Yeah.
We've got, well, that's it really, isn't it? But whatever, all that stuff. We've got environmentally friendly cleaning products.
Yeah.
But if we're really honest, in the grand scheme of things, most of it isn't as good as just using high solvent, really dangerous, carcinogenic shit that causes your ears to fall off. And most of us
if it's good for
use
you,
that. So I have got a bit of respect for the dolphin lovers who persevere and use that stuff because it's not friggin' easy.
it's harder.
So
if it's good for you, it's hard to use. If
definitely.
it's bad for you, it's easy to use. That's the rule.
As a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
In most cases.
Yeah, including.
I mean, we could say not in respect for. Well, actually, we probably could do to an extent. Aquaflex V2.
Water-based white. This is exactly what I was going to go. I was going to lead cleanly into.
But how perfect was that?
Water-based white as being now a greener, environmentally friendly version of the good old staple of all screen printers, plastisol white. So if you remember last week, we asked a question and we opened it to all of our 12 viewers and we said, what is your best? What is your favourite? What's your go-to white ink? And in the beginning, we limited it to plastisol. And then you forced my hand and said no, any white ink, because you actually prefer water-based. Magna Colours, Aquaflex V2, Plug.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? Nobody who maybe this is a spoiler. Nobody who chose water-based.
Don't spoil it.
Right.
What do you think would be the most popular answer that we got? And I was so surprised. I was so surprised, number one, that we didn't get
Anybody replied.
Yeah. I was quite harsh on the phone. That was a slow day for me. I actually rang everybody in my book. Get here now, do with this. Even from across the ocean. And we got some interesting results. We got some out there results. And we got one pretty much consistent result through all the answers. Which, it surprised me. It really did surprise me.
What surprised me about that was it wasn't here.
No.
It was international as well.
Yeah.
It's
But
getting them out a bit.
One of the...
That's all I can say.
I'm going to do a disclaimer, though. I'm going to be the voice of doom. Is that because our audience are...
Comes from your phone book.
Yes.
And it is somewhat biased results.
But are they the type of printers that would use that product?
Well, to argue in our defence, if it is printers from your phone book, they're going to know the shit. So, those are the printers you should be listening to.
There's only an apostrophe between knowing your shit and knowing your shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully,
Oh,
we're what Danny's going to do, because he's got loads of spare time. He's throw a little compilation of everybody that's contributed this week. And number one, thank you very much, because me and Danny have toyed with this for a long time. Do we get people in? Do we do spots? What do we do? And this throwing a question out to our listeners has been met really well. And you don't have to give up your time, and it's really good that you do. So thank you very much. Number one. Number two, you have opened the doors for next week's question. So get ready to be pestered and bullied and harassed again when we come up with another one.
Yeah.
Because
we've got a list of them.
we've got a list of them. So if this works, get ready, and we'll put a compilation together. Danny will put. I say we. I don't do anything. I basically stand here and look pretty. And Danny does all the work behind the scenes. So we'll put down a compilation of everybody that contributed and see if you can guess the winner.
Mm.
I think we
0-1.
And if you disagree, if you have your own opinion,
comment.
Tell us in the comments. Stick it in the DMs. Stick it in the subscribe. Tell us. Get the conversation going. We're not sponsored by any company. We're not pushing an agenda. We just want to know what you're using and why. I got some really strange ones from years back, and some from actually I've never heard of it, and it's UK. So drop us a comment, like, subscribe, tell your friends, do everything we can to try and get this popularity up a little bit. And I think from me, Tony at Pound Print, and
Danny Day, flipping sweet.
Let me know when we're having a beer next time. I'm going to have a beer as well.
We were just apple juice.
And we'll sign off, I think, because it's been a nice meander again, unscripted again.
It's been a chilled one, hasn't it?
Off on tangents, but if it fills an hour, it fills an hour. And most of you now will completely understand our Yorkshire accents. Even
you say that.
Even YouTube has started to transcribe us a little bit better now.
Start to pick that fucking AI. That's all you need. Be chuffing robots on Crackhead Alley next. That's all we need.
Well, me anyway. I don't know about you.
I.
So with that, we're going to say thank you very much. Danny's going to quite skillfully slide in this compilation, and we'll leave you to it. And after it's played, thank you very much for joining us.
See you next week.
It's much appreciated. I'll see you next week.
All best. Stay safe. One love.
Bye.
Kiss. All that shit.
It's Hodge here from Workwear Express. You asked me what white I like using, and it's the Will Effect Super Bright White. It's got a low cure. It's got a super fast flash temp on it, and it's just an all-round good white. You can't knock it for what it is. All right, cheers, lads. Keep up the good work.
Hi, I'm Maffei. We are using Roland Low Bleed White for a better finish.
Good morning from the frigid Hudson, Wisconsin. My favorite white is the Low Bleed Rutland. I prefer that. It gets nice and soft with the heat and goes through my mesh well. It also gives me a nice smooth white.
Bryce Nord, Largo, Florida, Merchops, 3 white inks, 100% cotton is Street Fighter 2. Low bleed cotton would be Rutland Premier LB, and 100% poly ink is Wilflex Performance LC. They all print great, good for long runs, they flood well, and they're opaque.
Hi, my name is Jeremy from EPCC, and my favourite white to use is Wilflex's LC Bolt White because it gives a nice even base layer, colours sit nicely on top of it, and if it's a white, it gives a really nice bright white.
Mr. Palmer and Chippy Tea people, our go-to white, I'm going to keep it exciting, well, but you already saw it, is Magna Colors white, all the way, V2 white, and as you see here, water-based puff, Magna Colors all the way. Those are our partners. One love, and there you go, that's ours.
I'm Jurt from Neat Print. My favourite white is Hunter Moon Super Opaque. Prints on just about anything, dolphin friendly.
Alright Tony, Epic Sprint White mate is what we use. Put a bit of fashion base in it as well, and yeah, it's our go-to. Thanks.
Hi, Mads from Unicorn Screen Printing here in Denmark. My favorite white ink is the Bright White from Total Ink Solutions in the US. It's very creamy, easy to print, and gets great coverage. It's an amazing underrated ink, I think, and I have been through a lot of white inks. Chippy.
So, favourite white, it's got to be Aquaflex. You knew that. I was going to say Nyla bag, but I thought you might fall off your chair if I said that.
I've just finished a tub of the low bleed version, but I am a pyramid white guy because it's the first one I ever bought and I haven't tried anything else.
Listening to the end of last week's podcast, I thought I'd send you a message and tell you my favourite white. Mine is a Pinot Grigio.
My name is Caleb from ThreadStation Screen Printing, and my favourite white is the Wilflex Epic Single LC White.
Yo, Ziggy from Monster Press, co-owner, production manager. This is my favourite white. If we're printing high solids or water-based, then it has to be this. Printing anything discharge, then it's this soft discharge white from Pyramid. Been using it for years, tried too many to count, and this is the one. And anything plastisol based, then we'll use these both from Pyramid. We used to use the Street Fighter Low Bleed from Rutland for a long time. Really liked it. There was some stock issues, so we switched over to these guys and didn't notice much difference. So cool, well done Pyramid.
Hello, I'm Sarah from Heck Press, and my favourite white is Aquaflex V2 white because it's really smooth and easy to print and really economical to cure because it cures at like 140 and there's like no fibrillation and it just works really well with like loads of inks. So
yo, this is Alex from Supreme Screen. We're all about the Aquaflex V2. This is what's left of our current 120k. Need to get a fresh order in soon. Love it.
Morning gentlemen, Carl Bradford here from PXC Agency. Hope you guys are well. In answer to your guys' white ink question, for me it is Magna Aquaflex V2. Especially a flash print, I think it's the best hand fill, high quality fashion white print you can get. So tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm right, but that's what I'm saying. It's the best white. Hope you guys are well, and keep up the good work with the podcast. See you later. In a bit, lads.
Hi Tony, it's Chris from SPD. Just a quick message to say that we use Aquaflex V2 White high solid acrylic for our screen printing, mate. Cheers.
I want a Chippy Tea.